Good afternoon, everyone. I got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about all the different ways you can drag yourself out to these beautiful beaches on Far Rockaway. Now, we already had a little chat about taking the shuttle from Broad Channel, which means you take the A train out there, only the Far Rockaway one. But you can also get there by the railroad. If you really want, it's a bit of a trick, but it's a way to get out there, and it's a unique one. And you can drive. And if you like hiking really long trails, you can walk. And if you like to bike, well, there's a spot for you too. And even the ferry comes out there. And in the summertime, there's some special ones just for Rockaway. So, how do you travel to Far Rockaway and its beaches? We'll figure it out. Join me, Terry Dixon, for an adventure for anyone as I explain the many, many ways that you can get to Far Rockaway and Rockaway. Here you have the map. You've got the train station on your right. You can take the shuttle and the subway up and down. You can come in across the island over there. You can drive in across 2 bridges, or you can take the ferry. Now, first, we'll recap. The subway, for about $3 each way, is going to bring you in right over the water on that 3.5-mile trestle. You can come in here to Broad Channel and seamlessly transfer to the A, which sometimes goes to the beach, but the shuttle definitely goes down to the beaches. This is the end down there where you get off. The A train goes the other way to Far Rockaway, which is the city out here on this peninsula. So we've discussed it. It is one of the ways to get out there. It is elevated. It runs over the beach avenue out there, the Rockaway Beach Avenue, and most of its stations. And there are a lot of them because there's a lot of beaches. You can exit all along the way. So there's a lot of stations on the subway and the shuttle all along the beaches on this peninsula. And the beaches themselves are beautiful. There's a walkway out here. You've got like 11 miles of beach, boardwalk. And some of them, as you can see right there, is a train station, just a hop skip from the beach. Now, the other end, as I said, is at Far Rockaway. That is the city. That's where the Long Island Railroad comes in, because right there at Grand Central, they've got a train, a Long Island Railroad train that will take you up from the murky depths of Grand Central Station and take you all the way out to Far Rockaway. That's going to cost you about $13.50 each way. Lesser rates may apply for different groups. But this is also another option. You can take the train out from Barclays over in Brooklyn as well for about the same price. Long Island Railroad is a very comfortable way to travel. You're going to be able to take some of your things for the beach out there, but both the subway and the train have limited space for surfboards. Surfing is legal out there, scooters, bikes, and so on. But on the train for the Long Island Railroad, you pass through Jamaica Station when you're coming from Grand Central. There is a stop there, but you don't get off, you don't transfer, and before you know it, you're out here in the land of the King of Queens, going through the row houses out there and the suburbs and all of that. This train takes about an hour and a half, maybe a little more. It leaves Grand Central, it goes all the way around JFK and onto that peninsula to the Far Rockaway station. That's where this train ends. You get off the train, and then the next thing you do after that, unfortunately, so this is a personal choice to go out this way, is you take a little walk. It's 5 or 6 blocks. You go through some apartment complex areas, down the street, this kind of thing, before you find yourself at the Far Rockaway Mott Avenue subway station, and from there you take the subway up and down the peninsula from there. The My Avenue station is the end of the A train. Honestly, it's a pretty station. It's got a lot of artwork in it, but now you're spending that other $3, and now you're going to spend $3 every time you're on and off that train unless you run it up to $35. But you can take the train all the way from Grand Central over to Far Rockaway, walk over here to the end of the A subway, and you can take it out to Broad Channel, transfer to the shuttle, go back to the city, whatever. Like I said, it's a pretty station. Out there, they are all elevated. Personally, that one that comes in from the city across the trestle isn't very elevated. But at any rate, the others are. They're up there quite a ways. And they do not have escalators. They do have elevators, though. So, there's a couple of ways to get there. Then you have roads. This here is the Cross Bay Boulevard and the Cross Bay Veterans Bridge. This is, like I said, it's a Cross Bay connector. It comes over from the Belt Parkway. This one connects to I-95 back in the city. You can also, here you can see the traffic and the connectors coming down off the bridge. Once again, I don't like to drive in the city, but this bridge, as well as the one on the other end, which is the Gil Hodges Memorial Bridge, you can walk across, ride a bike across, take your scooter across. So once again, if you like those long trips, you can come right across the bridge from the other side of Jamaica Bay. So that is another option, but they are toll bridges. They start something like $2.80 and it just goes up from there. Both this one and the Marine Bridge down at Gil Hodges. So you get down to the end of the subway at 116th Street. This is where you go to the main park. Haven't been there yet. I hate to say it. We're going to have another vlog soon. But you have this shuttle that takes you from the beaches to some of the subway stations and to the ferry stop. The shuttle runs some weird hours. You have to check on that, but it is free. It's the only free thing going on out here. And then we have the last way to get to Far Rockaway and Rockaway and the beaches, and that is the New York City Ferry. Now, you pick this up, the average ferry anyway, down at Wall Street at Pier 11, like you pick up most ferries. You can also catch it. It goes all the way up into the East River for a couple of stops up the way. Now, in the summertime, as you can see us going under the Verrazano Narrows Bridge here on that first trip I took out there, was in no way summertime. It was cold, it was windy, it was one of those days. But in the summertime, they have what's called the Far Rockaway Rocket, and this will come from Long Island City up at Greenpoint and these places and run you straight out to the stop in Rockaway. Now, this is what the inside of the shuttle looks like when it gets really cold outside, but the last time I took this ferry, it was lovely out, as you can see. Now, I was taking it back to the city. The ferry, if you take the Far Rockaway Rocket, which is the special summer ferry with the special schedule check, it's going to cost you $12. If you take the regular ferry, it's going to cost you $4.50. Both of those are one way. So if you have a little patience, you can take the Far Rockaway ferry for $4.50 each way. It takes a little over an hour. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes, but you're coming all the way from Long Island City if you take the Far Rockaway Rocket, out to go to the beach. Here we're looking at that Gil Hodges Bridge. Once again, it's walkable, rideable, but it is a toll bridge. Some of the things you pass along the way when you take the ferry, you go right by Coney Island. That's kind of cool. Get to see the Wonder Wheel, the Cyclone, and you get to see the old parachute training grounds and ride. And this Verrazano Narrows Bridge, take a look at this from a boat, folks. It's the only time you're really going to use it if you don't drive in the city. It goes from Brooklyn to Staten Island. It is one of the only bridges in the city you cannot walk across. So take a look at it from a boat or from the park below or the fort on the other side on Staten Island. That's the only way you're getting a look at this baby. Now, sooner or later, basically sooner on that ferry, it's just a little over an hour and you see yourself coming right into the harbor. Back to Pier 11 is where this ferry was going. You can see all the bridges going up the East River. So the ferry is a very scenic ride unless you get seasick. So as you can see, there's a lot of ways to access Far Rockaway. None of them are free. Take your pick, folks. It depends on where you want to go, how you want to get around, what level of comfort you want, and how much you want to pay. So as we've discussed now, you can take the subway, you can take the Long Island Railroad. If you're really a bit crazy, you can walk, ride a bike, or take a scooter out. If you insist on being able to tool yourself around in the traffic, you can drive. Then if you really enjoy the scenery, you can take the ferry. But no matter how you get to Far Rockaway, you're going to enjoy your time there. And tomorrow, we'll tell you why.